Strong, crazy bets on me. Back mid-scroll, Armageddon arcane. Walking the wire. Don't know why. Cosplay cowgirls and numberless chats. We're feeling just fine in our running hats. Walking the wire. I don't know why. I don't mind the hustle and the tussle. I don't mind the grind. I don't mind pretending we don't see these signs. I don't mind the hustle and the tussle. I don't mind the grind. You and me dancing Armageddon time. Try to unplug it, turn it back on. Try to unplug, but the feeling's gone. Walking the wire. You don't know why. Radio play in the cesspool stream. Running down nightmares that used to be dreams. Walking the wire. And I don't know why.
Who needs linear storytelling when we have a vlog format? Hi, I'm B, I make stuff, and I'm going to be test knitting the homecoming quilt vest in this vlog. So this project is knit in a bunch of squares and then it's seamed together, and I have to, he's shedding everywhere, I have to block this bad boy to see if I've met gauge. A lot of people in the testing group chat seemed to not be getting gauge pretty easily. So I'm really hoping that I get gauge. I'm hoping I'm the exception, not the rule, and I magically get gauge. First time's the charm. I'm working with superwash, which I normally do not do. Hey, can you move your butt, please? Whoa, thank you. So blocked out. She's looking a bit bigger already. I don't pin anything when I block it. I'm more interested in seeing naturally where something lays and then working from there, as opposed to trying to get it to hit a certain measurement. I find that works better for me. When I stretch something out or try to make something smaller, I find that my garment just tends to be a little wonky. Alton's coming and going. Okay, I'm off to work, but she's sitting there. Hello, this is B from the future. I never talked about the yarn that I was using and why I chose that yarn. If you follow me on the internet, you'll know that I'm trying to stash down 2,026 grams of yarn in 2026. So I'm trying to use my stash, and I had some Les Garçons Twist DK, British Twist DK. I never get the words right. For the blue. So the main color is Les Garçons. And then this pink here is some sock yarn that I dyed like truly years ago. And then the green is a Sweet Georgia superwash merino in cilantro. So the blue is a BFL and the pink is like a nylon merino blend. And so far it's all working out just fine. It's all coming together, I would say. We're doing okay. The DK twist is very twisty, so it's been kind of frustrating as the yarn like twists on itself as I'm trying to knit. But I like the yarn I chose. I specifically chose not to do the fingering held double for the background color for both of these because a couple of the testers in the group that I'm in had a hard time getting gauge, and it's supposed to be a scrap busting pattern, so you can like use your fingering held double to make a DK weight, but I found that it bloomed a bit more than I thought it would, and so I was worried about not getting gauge if it was the main color, so I stuck with just DK singles. But yeah, so I did buy skein of yarn to finish this project. I'm really hoping I have enough. It's looking dire where I am in the future, but I guess we'll get to that. Okay. Good morning from the trail. I'm currently being stopped. I can't walk through the trail right now because there's 2 Canada geese that keep hissing at me. And I'm a big baby and I'm terrified of Canadian geese. So I'm waiting for them to like clear the path so I can walk through. But it's a beautiful Saturday morning. It's like 7 a.m. and I thought we would, can you see that one of my eyes won't stop watering? I thought we would see how many birds we can find because I rarely have a Saturday off. I know I can do this on a different day, but you kind of run into other birders a lot more often on a Saturday, which is really nice. So I've already run into like 2 birders and made some friends this morning, and a coyote, which is less scary to me than a Canada goose. Like, those things are evil. So I'm just staring at them. They're staring at me. Oh my God. Let's look at some birds. Let's find some birds, eh? Let's do that. So I saw a wood duck, so cute. And then I saw my first lifer hairy woodpecker, super sweet. I watched this guy for a long time. And of course, a bunch of buffleheads. I think they're such sweet little birds. They're so tiny, like the smallest duck. And it was really cool to see a flyover sandhill crane. That was my first of year sandhill crane. So I hadn't seen one yet, and it would not shut up. It was just screaming up there. Wow. The real money, though, was these mountain bluebirds. I have never seen them. There was a bunch of birders there trying to find these guys. There's about 5 of them. It was a beautiful day for birding. You can't really get over how pretty BC is. A bunch of red-winged blackbirds were kicking around. And of course, I saw my first of year violet green swallows. I also saw my first ever rufous hummingbird, but this next amount of bird footage is from a different day. I just wanted to group them all so you don't have to watch birds all the time. And then this northern harrier I saw while birding with my birding group a couple weeks later. It was so pretty. There was like 5 or 6 of them that day. So nice to watch them kind of glide. And then in the park near my house, there has been a baby barred owl. I love these guys. I couldn't find it for a few weeks, but I found it again, so don't worry, the owl's okay. And bonus content, we got some muskrats. They're such weird little things. So as I'm working up my panels for this beautiful cardigan, I have been doing something that is, I would consider ill-advised, because I believe the designer specifically asked me to do it, but I'm kind of doing a workaround. I'm like kind of doing a workaround. So many of these squares made and seamed together. Yes, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, I could never seam 30 squares together. I wouldn't do that. First of all, crocheters could never. They are always seaming, bless them. They are so busy with seaming. Knitters have to seam one thing and they complain so much. It's so funny. Crocheters are like, yeah, I'll seam this for 3 to 4 years to come, no worries. But to circumvent, sorry for dunking on us knitters, to circumvent the seaming, I have been casting off and then picking up stitches along the edge to kind of like create the seamed look and the seamed effect, but not seaming. And this is my cheeky workaround because I know that I would not finish it if I had to seam everything. Seaming the side panels lengthwise has been totally fine for me, but I couldn't do the whole thing. So, and I've also been weaving in ends as you go. Also typically not advised to do until the very end, but I want to finish it. So I will be weaving in the ends. Thank you very much. Knitwear designers don't want you to know this one crazy trick. I'm ironing. So I've got some of my squares. You can see they're attached vertically, the columns, but the rows are not. So I'm gonna mattress seam them. But to make that easier, I am going to pre-block my knits. And how do I do that, you ask? With this bad boy. I've got on the wool setting, and I know this is like technically illegal, and there might be a million people who are like, that's a terrible idea, don't ever do that, but it's kind of like a pre-block in a way. The pattern, I believe, asks us to block everything before seaming it together, and the reason I don't mind doing this as opposed to pinning and blocking is that when I do my gauge swatch, I think I've had that in this video, but when I do a gauge swatch, I really make sure that it's how the piece wants to naturally lay as opposed to me stretching it. So like how something wants to be before. When I'm blocking things, I'm never pulling them, I guess, basically that's my hot tip, is that if you have to pull it, it's not the right gauge. And for this, I'm just trying to get it to lay flatter. So I do the back side first, and then I flip it around and do the front. And this will get like another block before the garment's finished. But I really feel like this is a great way. And I know it won't be popular. I know it's not, people are gonna say, well, I don't recommend you do that. And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't recommend you do it either, but it's what I'm doing right now. Actually, scratch that. I recommend you do it so much. Something that I think is very cool about knitting. Here, how about I pop you up here for this next one? Because I'm gonna talk to you. You don't have to see this. You can see my face now. Hello. But something that I think is very cool about knitting generally, that I learned from working at a yarn store, is that the vast majority, and I think maybe I'm learning this as an adult, just about most life things, nothing is a science, right? When people tell you that you have to block something, or you have to get gauge, or, you know, X, Y, and Z, knitting occurred, and all the knowledge we have about knitting and most craft occurred around the world at the same time. So, you know, like there's countries that use, they'll call something a 4-ply instead of calling it a DK, or they'll call it an XYZ instead of an XYS, but it all means the same thing. And I can't remember, maybe I'm not explaining it perfectly, but basically there's no hard and fast 100% rules in the craft world. There's a lot of heavy recommendations, and like, I do this because of that, and I do this because of that, and like a logical, you know, like I'm so grateful that our ancestors figured all this out for us so we can, you know, spend an afternoon crafting. But that doesn't mean you can't play around and break the rules when it suits you. I do think people get a little too caught up in the rules sometimes, at least maybe on the internet, because it gets more clicks or something. But this is your hobby and you really can just play around. The one reason that this might not be my best move ever is that this is a test knit, and of course providing accurate feedback is incredibly important. Like if I wasn't testing this, I would have just knit it all in one go. I absolutely would not have seen anything. I would have just cast on the stitches and done intarsia for the whole thing and figured it out. But look at those beautiful blocks ready to be seamed up. I'm really proud of this. It looks really good. God, I love the iron. Also, okay, one other thing with the iron is that as I'm getting older, I'm becoming like I want to iron everything I wear. Becoming older. I'm nearing 30, okay? So in my head that's becoming older. I'm so sorry. I know a lot of my people that watch this is older than me. I'm not saying I'm old, I'm saying I'm getting older. But the thing that I love about getting older, or that I'm noticing about getting older, is that I love my iron. I love to iron anything. Like if I'm wearing a shirt, I'm like, there's one wrinkle, I'm like, oh, just give me a second, I'm gonna iron it. I love to iron things. Also, this iron belonged to my mom's bestie, Elaine, and she's Irish and loves to iron. She irons her sheets. Like she loves to iron things. I'm quickly just gonna steam another swatch for another project I have real quick while it's literally on the needles. Just seeing what happens. I love ironing. But Elaine, this iron belonged to an iron lover before it was mine. I love that it belonged to her first, and I now have her iron loving legacy. Okay, that was a lot of talking just to say that I ironed some pieces. I'm gonna seam them together. They're gonna look great. It's gonna be awesome. And I have a swatch for another project maybe that I'm doing. I know it's on the needle still. I'm fully aware, okay? Whatever. All right, we are all seamed up on those front two panels, which is a great place to pause because I am going to Quebec on a road trip with my buddy Catherine, and I do not want to carry all this work with me. So instead, I decided to cast on a cheeky little palette cleanser of a project, which is still not finished. I'm from the future. It's the Sporty Tee by Jack C. Slack. So I wanted like a bolero style sleeveless sweater to wear, and I thought a fingering weight ribbed garment would do me well for a week in Quebec. Montreal was a little dreary, a little gray, but Kat and I had a great time. We did a road trip to the Eastern Townships. We ate so much good food. I don't know if you know this, but Quebec has fantastic graphic design and fantastic cafe culture. And we wanted to get out of Montreal and do a little road trip. So the second day we did the Eastern Townships, enjoyed coffee and so much knitting, like so much knitting, truly so much knitting, and a lot of like just walking in the woods. Going to Quebec was kind of like going back in time a month and a half, because in BC I was wearing short sleeves, and in Quebec you will see there was snow on the ground, which is wild. Actually, I think in Cape Breton, June 5th, it snowed. So, pretty wild. We went on a cute little walk. It was like a ferry walk. I also got to see my lifer Eastern Phoebe. There she is. And we just enjoyed like all the little small town charm situation, right? There was this super beautiful bookstore and also a lovely yarn shop where the owners were so sweet. It was an exceptional time.
The stars
Hello from the vlog.
Good morning.
Kat and I are matching. We've got sweatshirts.
I have a big stain on my sweater.
It's not a stain, it's just water.
It's just water.
You got skirt, I got denim, and we both have green socks on. Oh, green, can't see it. Oh, we both have green socks on, so there we go. We're going to have breakfast.
Cutie. I'm excited for coffee.
Coffee? Well, we already had a half calf.
Half calf.
And shopping. And then tonight we have T-Boy oil wrestling.
We do indeed.
Yeah. And the concert last night was really great, so off we go.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. Please excuse this heinous overhead lighting, but today we're walking around. Kat and I walked into a bookstore called Joie de Livre, great name, and I found out that Amal El-Motar, one of my favorite authors of all time, is here in the city and doing a book thing tonight there. So I've left Kat in our weird little apartment that we're renting, and I'm gonna go see this random random author that I've never seen before and who I'm very excited. Like, this is the first time I'll be like meeting someone I actually really admire, and I don't even know if I'm gonna meet her. I'll just be like in the same room as her, but very exciting. So let's do that. It's 12:19 p.m. back from T-Boy oil wrestling, sorry. It was great. I want to show you a little haul of the things that I bought today, because I didn't really shop except for in Montreal. So most importantly, I got Amal El-Motar's most recent book. It's a compendium. Ooh, can't talk at midnight. I did only have half a beer. This is a compendium of her work from like 2008 until 2023. And this is what she was talking about at her book tour today. I was first in line for the book signing because I had wrestling to get to. And it was my first time meeting someone that I admired. And I told her that. I was like, hey, have you ever met someone that you admire a lot? And she's like, no, I haven't. Oh, I have. No, she said, yes, I have. And I was like, well, I haven't. This is my first time. So am I doing this right? I don't know. I told her that I have to leave quickly because I'm going to T-Boy oil wrestling and that I'm really proud of my arts and culture night. And she said, oh, and then I also said, the other thing is that when Kat and I were out shopping today, we were like walking down the road and we came across Joie de Livre, and I was like, the river has roots all in the windows, and I was like, oh, I love that book. And then I saw the sign that she was coming tonight, so I told her this, and I was like, I didn't even mean to see you, I just happened to be in the city and came across this. I would never have known. So she wrote to me, for B, whose days are blessed with serendipity and T-Boy oil wrestling. Lovely to meet you. So that's where I'm at. today because obviously an unexpected cost, but very exciting. I got this postcard for my friend Megan. We both have gray cats that look very similar, so, and this will be mailed to her by the time this shows up, but I liked the gray cats and I'm gonna mail this to her because she keeps sending me really good postcards, so I gotta send a good postcard back. I got this bumper sticker of Pigpen, and it says, "What if God was one of us, just a slob like one of us?" So that's fantastic. 2 stickers, 1 lamb, 2 lamb. I got Zoe this bumper sticker that she'll put in her studio somewhere, and it says, "Don't honk, I'm listening to the spring peepers." She loves the spring peepers. And, oh, sorry, the thing that I really wanted to show you. It's in my bag now. Pendants are really a thing right now. I feel like I'm seeing pendants everywhere, but this is a measuring tape pendant. I thought it was so cool. What an interesting piece. Something I would not find anywhere else. So I'm really excited about this. And like, yeah, for sure. I could have made that. You could have made that. Did we? No. So I bought this because it's an amazing idea. And I love it on my patchwork bag. It looks so good on the patchwork bag. I think I got like 4 compliments on it today. People also like it on the patchwork bag, which is very nice. So that was our Montreal day. Tomorrow, depending on my feet and the weather, I might go birding again. And we have our drive to Quebec City. I also found out that there is a yarn festival happening in Quebec City. A lot of serendipity happening in this trip that we didn't know about, a yarn festival. So we might end up going there. We're staying at in Quebec City, and Kat is parking the car and I'm here alone. And first of all, there's an exposed brick wall. Whoa, very cool. And I would like to talk about what I've been knitting while I've been here because I feel like I haven't had time to talk about it, so let's do that. So this is where I'm at in my little sporty situation, my sporty shrug. There we go. Looks great so far, I'd say. And yeah, I did the back. I'm on the front now. It's taking me much longer than I thought it would because I'm knitting less than I thought I would. Very classic vacation things, I think. Travel things. Is that you're like, oh, I'll knit so much. And then you don't. You get talking and then doing the crossword and you're like, well, if I did the crossword, not my knitting, and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so you're gonna notice the back, one color. The front, different. You can see how much more muted this is than the front, right? My 2 balls, look how different they look in the, oh my god, even in the camera, they're so different. Yeah, so what I've done is I've taken the muted ball and done the back panel with it and doing the front panel with the colorful stuff. When I join them, I will helical knit and then I'll do helical on the sleeves to kind of incorporate everything because I will use probably the whole thing. But kind of a bummer that they're so different. I'm really glad that, you know, it would have been smarter for me to helical knit the back and front, but I'm just too lazy. So we soldier on. It'll look really cool on my body. It won't matter so much when it's gone. Show me inside your bag.
This is my This is my golden
Yeah.
maple syrup. Oh, it's also golden. I'm surprised there's more. And this is my amber. And there's one more of these.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I chipped my tooth on a tangerine, and the jaybird singing something about the way things used to be. Now I'm dancing on a wire like a cheap paper tiger, strumming on a heartstring stereo to a song that no one knows, and it goes like this. Hey, hey, yeah, said it goes like this. Say la vie, oh, don't ask me, 'cause it goes like this. Yeah. So I pack my bags and I'm on my way. And all my friends are upside down, but I get around okay. Now I'm dancing on a tightrope, oh, like some silly little psycho. Only one way out of this two-lane town, and around we go, and it goes like this. Oh yeah, say it goes like this. Say la vie, oh, don't ask me, 'cause it goes like this. Oh, 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 oh. Say la vie, oh, don't ask me, 'cause it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
On our last day, Kitty and I went to a knitting festival. This not working guy and this pug kind of gave the energy that we experienced at the festival. There was some cute yarn, some cute colors, and some like nice local stuff. I mean, these buttons are adorable, right? Also got to see Maya Parr. They have some really beautiful yarn as well. Yeah, discovered some stuff, but wasn't my favorite part of the trip. Where do I go from here? We just got back from the Quebecois Knitting Festival. Sure did. And I don't know if it was my favorite knitting festival I've ever been to. There was some really nice stuff going on for sure. There's a real divide for me between like French Canada fiber arts and then English Canada fiber arts. So cool to see some of the French stuff. There's also so much AI slop. Yeah.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. Just like weird vibes, eh?
A little bit, yeah, a little weird.
Weird energy. I didn't buy a single thing. There were some really lovely yarns, some nice people, really, really nice people. I got to meet the folks at Maya Parr. We saw them at Badiana, so nice to meet them. But yeah, I don't know.
It was a little odd. It was a little odd.
From here.
From here, we're gonna go get a sandwich and rewrite the day, I think. Yeah. Kat and I got a sandwich, but unfortunately it was time for her to drive back to Nova Scotia. So she headed out and I worked on my little crappie situation and then decided to go birding with my carry-on suitcase. I saw some really sweet birds like this brown creeper, of course, and my very first chipping sparrow as well. I also finished my sandwich in the parking lot as I waited for my cab to bring me to the airport. It did snow and it was muddy everywhere, and it was a bad choice. Hey, it's Editing Zone B from the future, giving you a little update. I got home from Quebec and then just dropped this project. So I ended up finishing the back panel, the front panel, and I got started on the sleeves a little bit when I was in Quebec. And you can see, look at the difference in dye lots there. Isn't that wild? But yeah, this is just a fingering weight to apply from a company that doesn't exist anymore. Crux Fibers, rest in peace, love their stuff. I'm about halfway through the bicep on the sleeves, but I put them on, I started doing 2 at a time sleeves. I was like, oh, I'll be so fast and smart and my sleeve decrease will be the exact same and it's genius. And then I just stopped knitting because it's so miserable to do helical knitting on 2 at a time sleeves. So I learned my lesson, and I will be, when I pick this back up, I will be doing single 1 at a time sleeves, I think. But let's get on to what you're really here for, my homecoming quilt vest test. And we're so back. Let's go. Today our friends are getting engaged, or they've just gotten engaged, and we're off to Van Dusen to celebrate with them. And I brought my knitting to do, of course. Cake. Yay!
What do you get closer to me? Both your hand. Bring your hand closer to me.
Put it on the middle. It'll fit. Hello, I'm working on the back panel right now, and I'm playing Extreme Chicken. I definitely won't be able to make one of the middle back full squares, but I'm trying to finish one of the shoulder squares, so just one of the side seam half squares, and I'm halfway there, and I'm really hoping, can I do it? And then I gotta figure out what to do for the other middle back piece. Excuse me, I'm filming. But yes, hopefully I can do this. We'll see. Good morning. I have cast on my final panel Can't believe it. You're done. Actually, I'm done. My last column is finished, so I'm ready to seam up all my sides. I lost yarn chicken in my green, so note to future makers, if you're making a size 5, you're gonna need a little bit more than just one single skein of a contrast color if you're doing 3 colors. I'm very sad that it looks kind of weird to have this, but I think it'll look fine on the actual piece. It'll be in the back, so whatever. And then my only actual seam for in between the quilt blocks that is not that, like, I'm seaming all the columns but none of the rows, so it looks like shit, as I predicted. But the sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was laughing at myself. It does look really bad though, hey? Like, I didn't even line up the points properly. So I'm really glad that I opted to pick up stitches instead of seaming. But yes, I'm finished this column, and I have another 20 days to finish it. I have to do the saddle shoulders next, and saddle shoulders, and like all of the different ribbing and the button band and that kind of thing. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to force it closed. I don't know. I'm doing the bottom ribbing first because it's going to be the most annoying part. It's like 200 stitches of ribbing, so I want to get it done so it can be done and I can get on to all the fun stuff, and all the annoying and hard stuff is done first. So I've got about 5 more rows of ribbing to do on this, and then I'm going to do the saddle shoulders, and then I'll seam with the shoulders, and then I'll do each shoulder side, and then I'll do the neckline. Maybe I'll do the neckline first and then the arms. We'll see. Okay. Everything except for this, the buttonhole band is done. Also, I just want to show you how funny it is, how much ribbing sucks the garment up. Like, look at that. It's so loose. This one's like, but I'm really happy with the armhole. I'm really satisfied with how that's laying. I'm loving the neckline. I like that it's big enough to have a collared shirt underneath, because I have a collared shirt that's this color green, so I may be layering that if it's not too bulky. And then once it's blocked out, it's gonna fit like literally perfectly. It's gonna be great around my hips. It looks really good, right? I love it. I'm about to pick up my last button band stitches. The last stitch I gotta pick up, you'll remember that I did cast off and pick up stitches as I went instead of seaming, which means that I've picked up over 1,000 stitches for this project, which I think some of my friends might argue that it's worse than seaming to pick up stitches. So I got hiccups. But still hiccups. But I like picking up stitches, and now I like seaming. So turns out you can just enjoy your hobby. Who knew? Oh, I'm so happy with this. I think the next time you see me, it might be done. Zoe and I are going to do our little anniversary trip. We're just going camping for the weekend. Yes, our anniversary was last month, but we do it when it's warm weather out. So her and I are going to go do that, and I'm going to leave it to block while I'm gone, so it's finished when I get back. The only problem with that is Elton may fuck it up while I'm gone, because he loves to sit on a wet blocking thing. It's disgusting. He loves to sit on anything that's wet. But the other thing is, I might not fully block it because I've ironed this and it already looks so good. I don't want to mess that up. I may just iron out the button band. We'll see. We'll see. I lied, because you are going to see me again, because I want to iron the ribbing to see where the buttons are going to lay. That's important before I sew them on.
and I'm still working on the other side, just there. So I wanted to check to make sure that there isn't like some cardinal rule against ironing and I'm just like making shit up. So I'm just making shit up. You know, like that's obvious. We're all just making shit up, guys. If you think you're not, unless you're like a real scientist into the deep data or whatever. But I was on Reddit, of course, because that's where one goes when they want information. Looking up ironing, and the people of Reddit were very upset, offended, appalled, gagged at the notion that some lowly peasant such as me, such as anyone, such as OP, it wasn't me, would don to iron their knitting. There was arguments that were like, it's gonna felt. If it has mohair, the mohair will be done. If it'll flatten, your yarn's flat. The felting one, I was like, that's especially not a thing, guys. But for the one that's melting, I'm like, the pink parts here definitely have nylon in them. And I'm gonna do it right now. Oh, you can't see. Sorry, I'm talking about this, you can't even see me do it. How about now? Look at me ironing the nylon having no melt. So it's fine. A lot of people also said that it would be flat and not three-dimensional and that it ruins the fibers, like how straightening your hair ruins your hair. But I straighten my animal fibers for every day for 5 years straight, I think. So I'm not too concerned. I'm not overly concerned about what one single ironing will do to these animal fibers. But yes, there was one person who was clearly a very good knitter who was very much defending herself and her choice to iron, and they were not having it. So if you want to come in here in my comments and say don't iron your stuff, you can, but just know that I'm not going to listen to you, because this worked out great. Maybe you're right technically, but I don't care. Yeah, that's better. That's laying way better. Sweet, I gotta pick up my buttons. Also, I'm not trying to convince you to iron your knits. I'm just saying this worked for me at this point, just like any of our tips and tricks that we think are, set in stone. They're not set in stone. So this is one of my things that I'm like, maybe you want to try it. Make sure you try a swatch first before you try knitting, but I'm happy with it. And I'm gonna iron again, so take that. So I only have 6 buttons of these that I got at the thrift store. And I was thinking about, because it's supposed to be 7 buttons, I was thinking about putting, squishing them all down and then putting like a fun one here. But there's none that are quite the right hue in my various green button holes. So I'm going to do this, and then it's gonna pull in between the buttons because they're so far apart. But I have a tip and a trick for that, which I will do.
The band Los Paisanos has been playing mariachi music.
Okay, she's done. Homecoming quilt vest test complete. It's over. I can't believe it's over. It took so long. It's so worth it. A lot of seaming. Arms ended up looking good. Neckline's looking good. My buttons are not pulling. Why is that? Because I sewed the seam shut. That's how you make them not pull. I'm never gonna wear it open, so seam shut. And yeah, maybe a bit of an anticlimactic finish to this very long video, but it's done. I can't believe it's over. Maybe not as interesting of a testing process as I was hoping for, because it was a really smooth testing process. Friction makes interest, and I didn't have any friction. So here's my gorgeous vest that was really frictionless to make. Thanks to Catherine for letting me test it. And it's out today, the day that you're seeing this video, or maybe later you're watching it, but the day this video comes out is when
this garment is available for download on Rav. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.